ASMR. I'm recording now. ASMR.
AMSR. A murder. Shmooshide rebel.
What the fuck? That started off really wrong.
A murder series revolution. Oh, recording. That makes more sense. A murder. What did I say? S.
A murder series recording.
AMSR, even though it's ASMR.
Shockingly, though, we're not doing a murder today.
Oh, wait, that's our intro. I love it.
Yeah, we're not doing a murder today. Ask and ye shall receive. We're doing a paranormal episode.
Well, I was getting ready to say, what are we doing?
Oh, I think you're going to like it. ASMR. But it's a little creepy. It's a little creepy ASMR.
It's creepy ASMR. I just licked my microphone.
She really did, too.
No, I did not. Okay, I did. Tastes like Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, because Alicia brought over 2 dozen Krispy Kreme donuts. I don't know if I love it or hate it.
You fucking love it.
A little bit of both.
It's Valentine's Day. Actually,
it's Valentine's Day.
It's not. It's not even February yet. But when you guys hear this, it'll be February something.
Yeah,
3rd, 5th, 18th. I don't know.
We're a couple days ahead of the curve. A couple days, but
are we?
Yeah, a couple days. Well,
I'm just kidding.
I don't know. This month of January has felt like 5 years to me. Like it's never ending. It's like the never ending month.
I agree.
But I'm over it. Before we get into the episode, I heard that Alicia needed to do a shout out.
I would like to do a shout out. My dear friend Joanne Rodriguez. I haven't seen you in 8,000 years, I feel like. But thank you so much for all of the support, always sharing and liking our stuff. We really, really, really appreciate it. We love you.
I feel like Joanne, aside from your mom, is like our number one fan.
Yeah. Yes.
She's awesome. I always see her engaging with the posts and sharing everything, and we love that. And when we become famous, I'm not saying if, I'm saying when, because I'm trying to manifest.
I love it.
Okay? I'm not trying to be like conceited. I'm trying to manifest. So if I feel like if I put it out into the universe, I'm going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen.
We're going to make it happen.
We're going to make it happen. 2025. It's the year of opportunity. I can't even say that with a straight face.
2025. It's the year. Period.
It's the year of something. I don't know. My mental breakdown, I don't know.
This close.
But it's the year. It's the year of something. But yeah. When we get famous, we're gonna remember Joanne.
You know what I think?
Remember.
We're gonna get committed, and we're gonna think that we're famous in the asylum.
In the asylum
that we're in.
Do they even have asylums anymore? I don't know if they do. Do they?
I don't know.
I don't know, but I think that's gonna be my next episode. I think I'm gonna do an episode on asylums.
Do it.
Or ice. I think I'm gonna do an ice pick lobotomy episode. What do you guys think? Should we do a nice pick lobotomy?
Yeah.
Who doesn't love a good lobotomy? You wouldn't know because you wouldn't remember, but I'm sure you would love it.
I mean, ignorance is bliss, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of to that point. I'm kind of like, you know what? A lobotomy doesn't sound that bad. Just sit my ass in a chair, okay? And just let me, like, watch the Golden Girls or something until I die. It's fine.
It's fine.
I don't need to know who I am. I don't need to remember anything. Just, living in, ignorant bliss. But I digress.
Said, 2025, it's the year.
It's the year of something. We don't know.
Period.
But something. It's the year, period.
Anywho, Joanne, we love you.
Yes, we do.
And thank you.
We love you. We see you. Thank you for everything. Thanks for everybody who, listens to us and supports us. And some of I'll look at our stats and I'm like, we have people that listen in Ireland.
That's awesome.
Isn't that cool?
Shout out from Ireland. Listen, if you're from Ireland, send us an email or post something. We would love to just say hello.
Yeah. Find us on Facebook because a lot of people listen on Apple Podcasts and all that. But if you find us on Facebook, it's The Ghosty Girls. And it's the same picture that's like on every platform, YouTube, Facebook, all that. So you'll know it's our raggedy ass faces. You'll know.
And we know you guys have some great paranormal stuff.
Oh my God,
over there in
yeah.
Ireland.
Yeah. Like send us like some of your stories and ideas because we're always looking for some inspo.
That would be fun.
Now that we have our shout outs out of the way, today we are going to talk about a property that is allegedly very haunted. So haunted, in fact, that it was called the next Amytiville by none other than the king of ghost bro culture himself, Zak Bagans.
What the fuck was that, bro?
I'm possessed! I'm possessed!
Look at these scratches. Bro, that's not a scratch.
And Zak Bagans actually purchased the property in 2014 in an attempt to try to figure out what was going on there.
He did?
Mm-hmm. And also, to make money off of it, but I digress. Yeah. In addition to it being called the next Amytiville, the house has also been lovingly referred to as the, quote, portal to hell. Yeah.
Oh,
have you heard of this?
I feel like I have heard bits and pieces. I'm sure we'll come back as you're telling me the story, but
because this is recent.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's really rare to hear about recent like demonic paranormal activity cases. We hear about hauntings and stuff, but I mean a full-blown like Amytiville case, we don't really get those anymore. But yeah, this house and this case got so much press and media attention that the 2024 Netflix movie, The Deliverance, was loosely based on this case.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yep. This case, it's always been fascinating to me. Like, I've followed it since I heard about it. Back in, I want to say probably around like 2015 is when I heard about it. Last year, I actually had the opportunity to more or less kind of have an indirect personal experience with the case, but I'll get into that later on in the episode. So if you haven't guessed it already, this is the story of the Demon House of Gary, Indiana.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, I thought it was in Vegas. Because Zak Bagans has something in Vegas, right?
That's probably why you're thinking that. And I'll get into how that ties into Vegas, too. In November of 2011, a single mother by the name of LaToya Amons moved into a rented house at 3860 Carolina Street in Gary, Indiana, with her mother, Rosa Campbell, and her 3 young children, ages 7, 9, and 12. Couldn't find the names of the children anywhere online, but that's fine because I wouldn't have used them anyway because they're minors and I'm not going to put them out there like that. That's fucked up. They didn't ask to be involved in this shit. So according to LaToya, the mother, the paranormal activity began almost immediately after moving in, but it started out subtle. In December of 2011, so 1 month after moving in, black flies began to swarm the porch of the house, and they kept returning no matter what LaToya did. And again, this was in December. It's Gary, Indiana. It's cold outside.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no reason for huge swarms of flies to show up in front of someone's house like that. Like, especially, considering the weather. It's cold. And there wasn't any trash or dead animals, nothing of that nature around the house.
That's weird.
Yeah. So they did everything they could to try to get rid of these flies. They would get rid of them. They would come right back in huge swarms. While the family was attempting to deal with the fly problem, shit started to happen inside the home itself. Now, it started relatively innocently enough as far as your average run-of-the-mill haunting goes. They began hearing footsteps walking up and down the basement stairs in the middle of the night. The basement door would open up by itself.
Nope.
Yeah, like weird stuff, but nothing that was necessarily malicious. And like you and I have done paranormal investigating.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like the standard stuff. Footsteps, doors opening and closing. Nothing crazy.
Cabinets being left open.
Yeah. Small things.
Yeah.
They did state that they made sure that the doors were locked because, after all, this is Gary, Indiana. And if y'all know anything about Gary, Indiana, it's not exactly the safest area Like, in fact, if you ever see a post on Reddit asking what the worst place you've ever been to is, the number one answer is pretty much always Gary, Indiana. Like,
really?
yes. Very high crime rate, lots of shootings, etc.
Okay.
Little fun fact, though. The Jackson family lived there, as in Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5. And the house still stands, and it's actually very well maintained. You can go visit it. Like, not go inside, but you can, like, look outside and see where they grow up. Tiny ass house. Yeah, it's a little fun fact about Gary, Indiana, is where Michael Jackson grew up, basically.
That's awesome.
High crime rate, it's possible that someone could have gotten into the home. You got to play devil's advocate here. Yeah. But despite consistently locking the doors every night, the pacing on the basement stairs continued. Soon after the footsteps and noises began, Rosa, who's LaToya's mother, and she is also living in the home, claims that she was woken up in the middle of the night and saw a shadow figure of a man walking around the living room. She states that she got up to investigate thinking that there was an intruder in the home, but turned on the lights. Nobody was there. She did, however, see large, wet footprints on the floor that looked like a man had been walking around in wet boots.
Weird.
Mm-hmm. And it's at this point, in March of 2012, just 3 months after the family moved into the home, that things really started to escalate and went from your typical haunting to something much more sinister. On March 10th, 2012, LaToya's daughter was having a sleepover with one of her friends when Rosa was awoken to the screams of her daughter, LaToya, around 2 a.m. Rosa, the grandmother, of course, runs into the room that they're all in because she hears her daughter, LaToya, screaming. And what she sees is her 12-year-old granddaughter, who is still asleep, but is levitating above the bed in midair.
Nope.
Yeah. The women said that they began praying around the girl while she was still hovering in the air, and that as they prayed, the girl eventually slowly came back down onto the bed with absolutely no recollection of what had just happened to her. She just thought she was sleeping, woke up to a bunch of people praying around her, and was like, probably, like, what the fuck?
Well, could you imagine?
No.
Waking up and being like, oh, hey, guys.
Yeah, like, why is everyone chanting around me?
Yeah.
I don't, yeah. The other two children, the boys, both began having serious behavioral problems, which the family claims to have been demonic possessions of the boys. This included physical fighting with each other, attempting to strangle each other, foul language, speaking in strange voices that were allegedly not their regular speaking voices.
Ew.
Having whole ass conversations with people that weren't even there, eyes rolling back in their heads, eyes bulging out, demonic looking sinister grins on their faces, all of the things. Yeah. LaToya's son is also reported to have threatened to kill the family and talked about death in a, quote, growling type voice.
Ew.
Yeah. LaToya herself even claimed to be possessed by one of the demons at one point. So they were all in the house getting possessed except for Rosa, the grandmother. And it was at this point that LaToya and Rosa realized that they had a serious problem on their hands and that they needed to take action immediately. They reached out to various churches, but were quickly poo-pooed away. People just wrote her off as being crazy. They refused to help her. They were like, this is above my pay grade.
Yeah.
Nah.
My prey grade. Get it?
Oh, I like it. That was like an inadvertent little joke.
I know. It was good.
Aw, sometimes I like how my brain works.
You
Threw that in there.
You did a really great thing there. My prey grade.
You're doing great, sweetie.
Love you, mean it.
Thinking that...
I'm sorry.
Thinking that the children were victims of their mother and grandmother's religious hysteria, the children's pediatrician had the children brought to his office for evaluations. And it's here where quite possibly the most sensational event in this story occurred. Allegedly, And this was apparently witnessed by multiple hospital staff as well as a DCS worker, which means Department of Child Services. The 9-year-old Ammons boy went into a, quote, hysterical state, cursed at the doctor in a demonic voice, and then proceeded to walk up an entire wall backwards.
Stop.
This is what multiple adult witnesses have said.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So when he was walking up the wall backwards, was he like facing the ground and walking?
Yeah.
Or was it like what's exorcism style? Like
That I don't know. Just that he walked up the wall backwards. So like he was facing out. So it's not like he was facing the wall, climbing up the wall. He was like,
facing,
yeah.
That's, I don't know. My ADD brain, I have to have like a movie play with the words. So thank you. Thank you. Sorry.
So after this happened, the boy allegedly completely passed out. And again, this was witnessed by medical staff members and also a DCS family case manager named Valerie Washington. And Valerie even wrote this up in her official report. So this is actually in an official report from a DCS family case manager that she saw this boy walk up a wall backwards. After seeing a child walk up a wall backwards to the ceiling, is what they should say, to the ceiling, whilst having a demonic grin on his face, then flip over in midair and then land on his 2 feet, planted firmly on the ground, people were understandably freaking the fuck out. And I mean, rightfully so. So a staff member from the doctor's office dialed 911, which resulted in a shit ton of ambulances and police officers responding, and they took the children to the Methodist Hospital in Gary, Indiana. With everything going on, Child Protective Services and authorities felt that LaToya was mentally ill and even believed that the children were being mentally, if not physically, abused, and the children were subsequently removed from the home and taken into custody. LaToya was told that she needed to secure employment because apparently she was unemployed. And it was the opinion of DCS that the hysteria that the family was experiencing was caused by LaToya and that she was actually encouraging the children to behave in this way for whatever reason.
Ma'am, teach your child how to walk backwards up a wall, do a backflip, and land on his feet, please.
I was just going to say, still doesn't explain the child walking up a wall backwards.
Okay.
That's the thing that I have a difficult time just explaining away. Because I'm not going to lie. A lot of this seems like some bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay. That part, I don't know how they got so many adults to sign off on that narrative. Like, you have a doctor, you have medical staff, you have a DCS worker, a case manager who has her career on the line, who put this in an actual report.
Right.
So that I don't know. That I can't explain. Regardless of, their feelings that LaToya was mentally ill, due to that and the fact that the children were apparently no longer attending school due to these demonic attacks, the children were removed from LaToya's custody. Which, I mean, if your kids aren't going to school, that's what's going to happen.
I do feel bad for her, though.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Mm-hmm. Frustrated at the lack of help she was receiving and also devastated that her children were taken away from her, LaToya was pretty much doing anything she could to try to solve this problem. And this led her to reach out to some psychic mediums, 2 of whom came out to the house and promptly told her that her home housed over 200 demons.
That's it?
That's it. Just 200.
Oh.
So at the advice of the psychic mediums, LaToya constructed a makeshift altar in the basement, which consisted of a candle, statues of Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, and a Bible that was open to Psalms 91, which they also read aloud while saging the home and forming crosses with the smoke. Things got quiet for a couple of days, but then came back full force. Reverend Michael Maginot was ultimately called out to the house after asked about potentially performing an exorcism on the family. And he was 100% certain that the family was being tormented by demons. While in the house, the Reverend began experiencing paranormal activity firsthand, and he himself states that the lights were flickering, blinds started swinging, and that large, wet footprints appeared in the living room. So he saw this too.
So Rosa's not the only one now.
Correct, yep. The Reverend told LaToya and her mother to leave the home immediately, and he called this home a portal to hell. So he's like the one that like coined that term.
Okay.
Yeah, for the house. So the women left and they went to stay with family members nearby. A week after the Reverend visited the house, DCS case manager Valerie Washington, she's the one that we talked about earlier, you know, who witnessed the kid walking up the wall.
You know,
yeah.
normal.
Yeah, no. Valerie Washington and 2 police officers, each from different police departments, came to the home to evaluate the living conditions due to the ongoing CPS case. While they searched the home, they went into the basement. Underneath the steps, buried in the dirt, they found random items, including a press-on fingernail, a pair of women's panties.
In the dirt?
In the dirt. And it was also reported that the police officers' equipment started malfunctioning. Yep. In addition to this, a weird, sticky, liquid substance appeared on blinds in a bedroom window. And they said that the substance would mysteriously reappear even after wiping it all off. The findings in the house were enough for the police officers to vow to never go inside that house again. It scared them enough for them to be like, nope, fuck that house.
Wow.
LaToya ultimately underwent multiple exorcisms, with the last one taking place in June of 2012. And apparently the exorcisms worked because LaToya was able to regain custody of her children. And her family are now living in Indianapolis, demon-free. They even decided to make some money on their experiences with the demonic entities. And they sold the rights to their story, which became a movie deal now known as The Deliverance on Netflix. So, taking a page out of Ed and Lorraine Warren's book. Yeah. Needless to say, there's been much criticism of the Ammon story. Many people believe that this was nothing but a shameless money grab concocted by LaToya and Rosa in an attempt to get out of the dumpy home in Gary, Indiana, and have a better life. It is a little sus that they immediately started shopping their story as soon as they left that house. I don't know. Some people believe that they couldn't afford rent on the home and that they were trying to get out of the lease. LaToya's own stepmother even called her out publicly and said that the whole story was bullshit. But, you know Zak Bagans. And if there's one thing that Zak does best,
it's bullshit.
It's fuck around and find out. So this brings us to part 2 of the story. Enter Zak Bagans. And according to Zak, once the Gary, Indiana demon house went up for sale, he was inundated with texts, messages, and emails telling him that he needed to buy this house so that he could investigate this so-called portal to hell. And in 2014, Zak purchased the home without ever seeing it or traveling to it for the bargain price of $35,000.
I mean,
he's got money. That was like $10 to him.
I was going to say.
that would be like me getting a Starbs.
Yeah.
He's like,
shit, Starbs is expensive to be sometimes.
I know, right?
Damn.
And what does he do next? Film a documentary, of course. Why would you not?
Yeah.
So, in 2018, the documentary film Demon House was released. The film begins with a black screen and the foreboding message of...
The following documentary may not be suitable for all audiences. This film shows real people, places, and events involving alleged demonic possession. Demonologists believe that demons can attach themselves to you through other people, objects, and electronic devices. You at your own risk.
How'd you like my little dramatic reading?
Zak Bagans would be proud, and I imagine that's what his penis sounds like.
Yeah, I just had to throw that in there just for funsies.
Oh, God bless him.
You guys awake and paying attention?
You better
This
be.
is where shit gets real.
Okay.
All right. So after this message, which is not as eloquently delivered as what I just did. Okay?
I don't think anyone could ever deliver it as eloquently as that was. That was a whole process.
Zach should pay me.
I don't know why he's not paying you.
I don't either.
Or me.
I'm going to write a stern letter.
Strongly worded stern letter.
Yeah. But yeah, after this, Zach then explains how the film was, quote, cursed and caused multiple unexplained injuries and also bad luck to both himself and the people involved in the production of it. The documentary film chronicles Zach's ownership of the home from 2014 until it was ultimately demolished in 2016. So for 2 years, he conducted an active investigation in the home, complete with surveillance cameras running continuously to catch any paranormal activity. As part of the research, Zach had multiple people come to the home, both people that were involved in the Amons case, as well as people that came out to inspect the home. Because, of course, carbon monoxide leaks, high electromagnetic fields, and also mold issues can have effects on your mental health and your physical health. Mm-hmm. And speaking of that, the inspector that came out to the house actually said that there was black mold in the home and that there was, quote, probably carbon monoxide leaking from the water heater and the furnace. But he would only use the word probably in the documentary. This is weird to me. Like, bitch, you either have a carbon monoxide leak or you don't. You don't probably have a carbon monoxide leak, right? You either have it or you don't.
How good are the laws there where a landlord did not have to have a carbon monoxide detector in their home?
That's a good point. You would think that they would have all that stuff tested before they were able to rent the property out. But this is, I mean, it's Indiana. I don't know their, landlord tenant laws and all that. But I mean,
it's crazy.
I would assume.
Right.
But what do I know? I'm just some bitch.
Some bitch.
In the documentary, Zach also attempts to reach out to the Ammons family, who refuse to speak with him because they have already since signed movie deals. He does add, however, that, again, members of LaToya's own family deny that any of this ever happened. And again, they state that the family was just out for a money grab. Squatters that were living in the home prior to Zach owning it all told Zach that they experienced absolutely nothing demonic or even paranormal in the home. Then one of the squatters did agree to do a little interview and talk about some weird things that happened, but only after Zach agreed to pay him.
Of course.
Right. So, shady as fuck in my opinion. Zach also visits the former owner of the home. So this was the man who was renting the home out.
Okay.
And he states that there has never been any report of paranormal or demonic issues with the home, neither before nor after the Ammons family lived there. Zach then finds a former tenant who used to live at the home before LaToya and her family, and they agreed to visit the home on camera, and she brought some of her children. There are then creepy close-ups of the young girl, which is very obviously foreshadowing that some shit is going to go down with the daughter. And after they leave, the mother calls Zach a few days later to tell her that her daughter tried to commit suicide and that she had stabbed her wrists with a pen, which Zach can only assume is a nod to stigmata, which would further the demonic narrative. The daughter then undergoes an exorcism, and then that's the last you hear of that.
Wow. Did they show her exorcism on the show?
They show like clips of her in a church.
I can't.
They don't show an exorcism. I'm going to take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah, agreed. It's Zak Bagans.
Yeah. Zak states that throughout the movie, there were many people that either randomly fell ill or just flat out quit. Zak himself became possessed at one point and awkwardly attempts to attack a crew member, which, no surprise there. I mean, Zak is always getting possessed.
I mean, he's got all them muscles and he doesn't know how to use them.
Another crew member completely lost his fucking mind and had to be removed from the project for his weird and super aggressive behavior. Zak himself claims that he was completely bedridden for over a week with some kind of mystery illness. We don't know what it was.
It's called the flu.
It's called the man flu.
It's a cold.
Another CPS member who had come into contact with the home during the investigation sustained multiple broken ribs in a jet skiing accident, a broken ankle from running, a broken hand from another fall, and a third-degree burn in a motorcycle accident. So she had some bad luck after coming into contact with the house.
What?
Yeah. It doesn't say like how soon after the house she had it, but
That's a lot of shit, though.
yeah. A police officer connected to the case, who was also featured in the documentary, was shot when he responded to a home invasion. This was like apparently right after this documentary. He also injured himself slipping on ice. I don't know if that would be connected.
Yeah.
Also, you're a police officer in Gary, Indiana. Not that surprised that you got shot during a home invasion.
Probably going to get shot.
It is what it is. Like that. Yeah. A priest claims that he was, quote, thrown from his bike by the demon. Don't know how much I believe in that story, but there it is. Dr. Barry Taft, who was a famous paranormal investigator that actually worked on the case that the movie The Entity in the 80s was based on, he went to the demon house and was subsequently hospitalized for organ failure, stating that multiple organs began shutting down after his experience in the home.
Wow.
Yeah. And there's actually footage of him in the hospital, hospitalized, all hooked up to everything. So, this is a legit claim.
Wow. Okay.
Don't know why he went into random organ failure. I don't know if he had pre-existing health conditions. They don't get into that. Who knows? Also, in the movie, there is, you would think that in 2 years and constant surveillance, you would have, an arsenal of evidence build up. Like you'd have some EVPs at the very least.
Something.
Yeah. There's not that much that they found. In a house that's supposedly this active, you would think you would have a shit ton of, at the very least, weird audio recordings.
Doors opening and more of those wet footprints.
They play like one EVP that's a little... I take it with a grain of salt because this is from when the prior tenant came to the house with her kids, the one kid that tried to commit suicide.
Yeah.
And allegedly the voice says, LaToya, run.
Oh.
But, EVPs, they're up for interpretation.
Yep.
Different people hear different things. Mm-hmm. And also, there was multiple people in the house. It's not like they were doing a controlled EVP session.
Oh.
That kind of stuff, you got to err on the side of caution and throw out. I'm sorry. Unless you're in a controlled environment where you know exactly where everybody is, everyone's quiet, you're tagging yourself and you're tagging noises.
Yep.
You can't take that as solid evidence.
No way.
You just can't.
So for those of you that don't know what tagging is when you do an EVP session, any tiny noise that you make, or even if your stomach growls, I know we've said this in a different episode, I think, but you literally out loud say, tag. That way, when you're listening to your EVPs, you don't think that your rumbling stomach is a demon saying, feed me.
Yeah, because sometimes those recorders be picking up some shit.
Listen, I picked up some crazy stuff that, like, if I didn't tag, I would have thought was something.
I clearly remember being in Gettysburg with you and your husband, and it was after we had dinner at the Dobbin House, which is my favorite spot.
So good.
If you're ever in Gettysburg, hit up the Dobbin House. Dobbin House sponsor us.
And Chili's.
Anywho. But I clearly remember doing an investigation at the Belladere Inn, and again, after we ate, and your husband's stomach was popping off. And,
Always.
And we tagged it and everything, but when I went back and listened, it sounded like demon growlings.
Listen.
If we wouldn't have tagged it, we would have been like, what the fuck was that?
Sometimes I think it is demon growlings, and he lets them out at night. Right onto my leg.
That's a demon for sure.
It smells like a demon. Sorry.
So yeah, and it, with this like one EVP, there was one clip of video, quote unquote, evidence where Zak claims that it looks like a black shadow coming out of a wall. It looks to me like it could have been a crew member moving.
Oh.
I don't know. You guys can watch the documentary yourselves. Let me know what you think. Again, evidence is up for interpretation. Like, people interpret evidence in different ways.
You're going to believe what you want to believe, I think. With
that's
stuff
true.
like this.
Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes if you have a personal experience, you can't really rely on other people to be like, oh, that's bullshit. Like, you were there,
Right.
So, I try not to knock people that have experiences like that because I wasn't there.
Yeah.
If you had a personal experience, who am I to say you didn't?
Just some bitch.
Yeah. Anywho, thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Amen.
I'm going to take y'all to church on ghost hunting. Anyway, so after all this happens, Zak decides to barricade himself in the home, like literally have himself boarded into the home with no way out. Yeah. It's showing like boards and nails going in. Yeah. Barricades himself in there in order to see what these spirits can do. He does, however, have a police officer stay outside throughout the night to break in if Zak needs him. Because, can you imagine? Like, what if you had a candle lit and then you were like, oh, fuck, like, this place is on fire and I'm barricaded in?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
I'd be more scared of that than being barricaded in with a demon. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like I have such bad claustrophobia that I would freak myself out more knowing that I have no exit than an actual fucking demon. Not even gonna lie.
You'd become the demon trying to get out.
I would.
Oh my God.
The police officer outside would be like, oh shit. There's somebody being attacked in there. It would be me attacking the door trying to get out.
Call the priest.
So while he is barricaded in the home, he essentially has a showdown with the entities. And he claims that the home caused him to suffer from a permanent eye condition called diplopia, which he is now required to wear special glasses for at all times. If you see Zak Bagans now, he's always wearing those glasses. Yep. He says it's from the demon house.
Didn't he wear them before?
That's what I'm saying, but it's Zak Bagans. Okay, I don't know.
He just has the different lenses now. They're transitionals.
It's Zak Bagans, and we're just going to leave it at that. So due to all of his experiences and also the bad juju associated with the property, Zak decides to have the demon house demolished. But not before removing the basement stairs, scooping out basement dirt in big buckets, and also taking some random objects from the basement to display at his haunted museum in Las Vegas.
Duh.
Mm-hmm. And that's where those items remain to this day, which my fiance and I actually saw firsthand and close up during our trip to Vegas in 2023. Important to note that before you enter that area, you're warned before going down there that just you walking into this area, it may cause something to attach itself to you or have bad luck afterwards.
Okay.
Now, you know my motto of don't threaten me with a good time. I'm going in that room and I'm seeing the haunted shit. Of course.
I will wait for you in the gift shop as I buy all the crap.
Well, I shit you not. And I'm not saying that there isn't anything about this but a mere coincidence. But we started having bad luck pretty much immediately after we left that fucking museum. It began with him and I getting norovirus and being sick on the plane ride home from Vegas.
Oh, I remember that. Well, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me about that.
This was at the tail end of 2023. We entered 2024. Both of us had the worst year ever. We both had to have surgeries in 2024. Mm-hmm. We both had health issues. Can't even tell you how many issues that I had with my car, including the engine completely shitting out with less than 75,000 miles on it. Don't know how that happened. All kinds of random shit happened in 2024 to the point where I told my fiance, I was like, you think this might be a little, you think this is a coincidence, or do you think that maybe something happened down there?
Open a Bible in here to Psalms.
Yeah. In addition to the bad luck that we had after we left the Haunted Museum in Vegas, I also had some weird things happen while I was researching this case and, working up the case for, the podcast episode. While I was typing up the script, I had the Demon House movie playing in the background because I was, pulling information from it. The document that I was working on kept closing itself out for no reason.
Of course it did.
This is a new laptop, okay? This is a Mac. This is not something that fucks around. It's a good computer. Never had that issue before. Never had it since. Coincidence? Could be. Still a little weird. So as I was cursing out my MacBook, what the fuck is going on? I look up and one of the little jewels on the candlesticks that I have a taper candle in was swinging back and forth by itself. And I was like, okay.
You didn't call me immediately?
We were texting, and I'm pretty sure I told you that I was having weird shit happen.
You were. Mm-hmm. I do remember that.
Yep.
Oh, man.
No one had walked by that candle. No one touched it. Dog and the cat were in the kitchen eating dinner. Have no idea how that thing was swinging. It's not, there's a vent over there, but I don't see how, it's never happened before. I don't think, we can say it was the vent, but it was still weird.
Well, you would see it all the time. The heat was on if it was the vent.
You would think, yeah. So the next day, I get into my car, and this is after getting a new engine because my engine shitted out a couple weeks prior. Get into my car. It's 20 degrees outside. I have no heat. Lift the hood of my car. No coolant. Had to have it towed to the shop. And it had something wrong with it that had to be fixed. Again. Yeah. So I'm not going to lie. It was a little weird, but those who know me well know that, I've had strange things happen for pretty much ever. I've always had some kind of paranormal stuff happen no matter what house I'm in.
Especially since Penhurst.
Yeah.
Too.
So, this could have been completely unrelated. But it's weird.
It is weird.
It's still weird. Does it mean I had a paranormal experience? No. But, I added that in because I thought it was cool. And that's what we're here for, right?
Yep.
Weird, fucked up shit. So, yeah. That's the end of the podcast. I'm fucking done with this story. I don't want to watch anything on it anymore. I don't want to read anything about it. I don't want to see Zak Bagans. I don't want anything to do with this shit anymore. We're leaving that energy behind. Okay.
2025 is a year.
It's a year. It's a year that we're getting rid of whatever the fuck that shit was that was 2024.
Throw it out. Good day. Deuces. Only positive from here.
Goodbye. Fuck you. Not you guys. You're cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, what do you think? Do you think that there's some validity to it, or do you think that it was just the family fucking around and trying to get famous? I go back and forth.
So I don't know, but I think you hit the nail on the head when you said it's kind of your own personal experience when it comes to paranormal. You can tell everyone all the stories in the world that you have, but they're your experiences. Unless someone's there that experienced them with you at that point in time, you know, it's
subjective.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let us know in the comments what you guys think. And if you guys have any paranormal experiences to share them.
Yeah.
We love to hear that shit. I love that. And, you know, we also are paranormal investigators. So if you're in the... Yeah, we are. We're rogue ones.
Oh, my God.
But we're paranormal investigators. Once a paranormal investigator, always a paranormal investigator. Okay?
Truth.
Don't let anybody fucking tell you otherwise.
Yeah, we're for reals.
Yeah. Anywho.
What was the eye roll about? Damn. I'm just kidding. I know it.
Because that's a heated topic. But if you're in the area, hit us up. We'll come over with our equipment.
Yeah, why not?
We don't even have to do a podcast on it. We'll just do it for fun. Shit.
Yeah, that is our shit. We love it.
I really do love it.
We have one March 1st, right?
We do. Yeah. We're actually... Are we allowed to talk about where we're going? Or can we just say an undisclosed location?
I would, for now, undisclosed location, just because I want to make sure it's...
Yeah. March 1st, we are going to be having a paranormal investigation at an undisclosed location. For now, we may be saying where it is, maybe not. But we're going to be going. We're going to be going with some ghost hunting friends that we've met through the years.
I'm excited because we haven't seen them in a while.
I know. I'm so excited. It's going to be fun. But even if we don't say where it is for privacy reasons, if we get any evidence, that shit's getting played on here.
Well, I think maybe that night we do a live.
We could, yeah.
I don't know.
What do you guys think? Let us know. Would you guys be in for a live?
Yeah.
Would anybody watch?
We could even do like a Facebook live or a YouTube live. I don't know how that works, but we can figure it out prior.
We can absolutely figure it out.
Bang, bang.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
But
Either way, it's fun.
Hope you guys enjoyed the story today. I hope it took you out of your, you know, real lives and problems and stresses and all that, and just let you decompress for 45, 50 minutes, however long this podcast was.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to just lose yourself in a podcast. I do it all the time.
Potty.
A little potty.
So I do want to say that the lesson learned today was don't go to the basement of Zak Bagans' thingy in Vegas.
I'm so torn on that because that museum is such an experience. You guys, I mean, obviously, especially after listening to this, know my thoughts and opinions on Zak Bagans.
They're all positive.
It's not a secret. But that museum, some of the stuff in there, it's fucking amazing. If you are a true crime fan, they have a true crime room where you can see the prison, I don't know if it's like scrubs, uniform, whatever, that Charles Manson was wearing when he died.
See, I would
got
go
stuff on it
to see all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But anywhere that posted, if you walk in here, you might get whatever.
Well, they say that throughout the museum. Yeah.
Okay.
Like Richard Ramirez's ashes are there, and there's like a plaque saying like, I guess his mom didn't even want the ashes because she felt like there was evil attached to them.
Wow.
When you go in that room, it's a fucking vibe. I just got the chills thinking about it. My favorite part, because you know Ted Bundy is my jam. Favorite serial killer. Everybody's got one. If you say that you don't, you're a fucking liar.
Truth.
But anyway, his like rape and kidnapping kit is there. The bag with the stuff that he actually used.
Really?
His ski mask is there. And it's like set up so that if you're looking at it, you can like envision what these women saw when he came after them. That
was my stomach.
I was going to say,
Tag
stomach.
It's saying, really?
There's actual evidence from the trial, from the murders he had samples of hairs and stuff.
Oh, God.
It's so fucking cool.
Well,
There's paintings of John Wayne Gacy in there.
The clown ones?
Yes. Oh, God. I'm trying to... There's actual... there's items that were recovered from Ed Gein.
Okay.
What else? I can't remember which serial killer it was, but there's actually weapons that they use to murder people. He has them.
So
it's so interesting.
I guess we're saying like Zak Bagans, you okay? But like, we support you.
He's got some cool shit. I will give him that. He has some fucking cool shit.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff.
All right, now I gotta go. Damn it.
If you go to Vegas and you are a true crime fan or a paranormal fan, you gotta go.
Lesson not learned.
You gotta go
today. We gotta go.
Yeah. And also, side note, I don't know, have you ever been to Tennessee, like Pigeon Forge? No?
Nope.
Did you know there's a true crime museum there?
No.
Did you know Ted Bundy's VW Beetle is there?
No. Did you know that we
VW
might be
bug?
going there in December?
That's what I'm saying, bitch. Yeah, Daddy T's going to take me to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee for my birthday in December. We're going to go to Dollywood. I'm probably going to have a heart attack and die. I'm going to be so excited.
Well, no, because then it'll just be the ghosty girl, and we can't be having that.
Yeah, true. I got to stick around for a little bit.
Yeah.
But there is a true crime museum there. Oh, I'm so fucking
God.
excited.
You're going to move there. You realize that. You're going to go there. You're going to fall in love, and you're going to leave me and move. And You're going to leave me, and you're going to move. But that's okay. We can do this shit virtually because I will understand.
I'm a northerner.
Once you see it.
I'm a northerner.
Once you see it. That area.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'll report back.
She gonna move, y'all.
Thanks for listening, guys.
See you next Tuesday.
But don't be one. Bye.
Love you. Bye.